Africa, a continent with vast potential, yet scarred by centuries of colonialism, economic exploitation, and foreign intervention. For decades, African nations have faced challenges that are not just economic, but deeply rooted in history, politics, and global power dynamics. Yet, amid this complexity, one man is starting to emerge as a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience and progress: Ibrahim Traoré, the 36-year-old president of Burkina Faso. But Traoré is not your typical leader. He wasn't born into politics, nor did he set out to be a national figure. His rise to power was driven by the will of the people in response to the corruption, mismanagement, and foreign-backed instability plaguing his country. As a military captain, he saw firsthand the suffering and betrayal of the people. When Burkina Faso's former president was ousted, it was not by the hands of foreign powers or international institutions, but by the cry of the people, demanding something better, something new. Ibrahim Traoré's journey to power wasn't one of political scheming or elite ambition. It was one of necessity. His military background gave him the tools to protect his nation, but it was his understanding of the people's pain and desire for change that set him apart. Within months of taking power, Traoré became a symbol not just for Burkina Faso, but for an entire continent yearning for leadership that understood its struggles. Leadership that came from within, not from the outside. So, what sets Traoré apart from so many leaders that have come before him? What is it about his leadership that is making waves not only in his country, but across Africa? And why are some of the most powerful nations on earth, and even some African leaders, so fearful of his rise? In the next few minutes, we're going to take a closer look at the man behind the movement, Ibrahim Traoré. We'll examine his bold vision for Africa, his commitment to sovereignty, and the ways in which he's defying the status quo. From reforming the military to rebuilding the nation's infrastructure and economy, Ibrahim Traoré isn't just leading Burkina Faso. He's setting a blueprint for what Africa can achieve if it's truly free to shape its own destiny. But there's one question that lingers: why should Ibrahim Traoré lead more than just Burkina Faso? Why should he be the leader of all African nations, guiding them toward unity, prosperity, and independence from foreign? To understand why Ibrahim Traoré has become such a powerful force in Burkina Faso, we need to look back at his early life. Born in 1987, in the midst of a struggling nation, Traoré grew up in a country that had already faced countless hardships. Burkina Faso, once called Upper Volta, had been through multiple military coups, corruption, and foreign-backed interference. But it was this very environment that shaped him into the leader he is today. From a young age, Traoré displayed an exceptional sense of duty, discipline, and commitment to the greater good. These qualities led him to join the military, where he quickly rose through the ranks. His training as a military officer wasn't just about tactics or weapons, it was about understanding the struggles of the common man, seeing firsthand the injustice, the corruption, and the external forces pulling the strings of his country. But what set him apart from other military leaders in Africa was his deep connection to the people. In many ways, Ibrahim Traoré is not just a soldier, he is a reflection of the average Burkina-based citizen. He knows their struggles because he lived them. His rise to power was not driven by an ambition to control, but by an urgent desire to change the system from within, to offer a better life for his people. When Burkina Faso's former president, Roch-Marc Christian Kaboré, failed to address the mounting security challenges posed by terrorist groups and a collapsing economy, the people had had enough. With the military's support, Kaboré was ousted, and Ibrahim Traoré found himself thrust into leadership. But Traoré's first days as leader weren't about taking power, they were about stabilizing the nation, restoring peace, and giving hope to a people who had long been abandoned by their government. The young leader was faced with an impossible challenge. Burkina Faso, like many African nations, was dealing with an influx of extremist groups, rampant unemployment, and a failing infrastructure. But Traoré didn't see these obstacles as insurmountable. Instead, he saw them as an opportunity for renewal. His first acts were bold, enhancing military defenses, rebuilding national security, and forging a new path forward in terms of economic independence. He knew that the future of Burkina Faso, and by extension, Africa depended on the willingness of its leaders to break free from the chains of foreign control and manipulation. But Traoré's vision wasn't just military or political, it was economic.
From the very beginning, he advocated for large-scale investments in agriculture, employment creation, and local entrepreneurship. He wasn't just thinking about the next election cycle, he was thinking about the future, a future where his people could live, work, and thrive without relying on foreign aid or control. As soon as Ibrahim Traoré assumed power, the country was in the grips of severe instability. Terrorist organizations, many linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS, had found safe havens in Burkina Faso's northern and eastern regions, launching brutal attacks on civilian populations and security forces. Traoré understood that national security was the first and most urgent task he had to address. Instead of relying on foreign military aid, which had failed to curb the growing insecurity, Traoré took decisive steps to overhaul Burkina Faso's military. He focused on modernizing the armed forces, boosting their morale, and ensuring that soldiers were equipped with the latest technology and strategies needed to fight terrorism and insurgency. He forged partnerships with neighboring countries, strengthening regional security alliances. But perhaps most importantly, Traoré emphasized the need for military discipline, unity, and, most significantly, the alignment of the military's priorities with the needs of the people. His vision was clear. The military would no longer be a tool of oppression, as it had been in the past. Instead, the armed forces would become a protector of the people, working tirelessly to create a stable environment where prosperity could take root. In addition to focusing on combating terrorism, Traoré understood that national security isn't just about military might, it's about ensuring the everyday citizen feels safe. His reforms aimed at not only eliminating threats, but at re-establishing trust between the military and the people. These changes were pivotal because, unlike many African leaders, Traoré didn't rely solely on military force. He invested in community relations, winning the hearts and minds of the Burkinabe by listening to their concerns, engaging with them, and prioritizing their safety. Traoré's military reforms, coupled with his commitment to national unity, have turned the tide in Burkina Faso, with the military now seen as the guardian of peace rather than an instrument of fear. His approach is simple but effective: security for the people, by the people. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso has not only gained military stability, but also begun to lay the groundwork for lasting peace and prosperity. Despite its rich natural resources and fertile land, Burkina Faso has struggled with agricultural underdevelopment, relying heavily on imports and foreign aid for food security. However, Ibrahim Traoré recognized that for his country to thrive, it had to break free from this dependency. Agricultural independence would be a cornerstone of his vision for a self-sustaining Burkina Faso. Under Traoré's leadership, agriculture became more than just a means of survival, it became a central part of his economic strategy. He launched several ambitious reforms aimed at improving productivity, modernizing farming techniques, and providing local farmers with the tools and resources they needed to thrive. Traoré introduced modern irrigation systems, making it possible for farmers to cultivate crops year-round, despite the seasonal challenges that once held them back. He also spearheaded the development of agricultural infrastructure, improving roads, storage facilities, and processing plants to ensure that Burkina Faso's produce could reach local and international markets. The results were immediate. Burkinabe farmers were able to increase their yields significantly, and the nation began to move toward food self-sufficiency. But Traoré's vision didn't stop there. He worked to promote crop diversity, encouraging the production of a wide range of products to reduce reliance on a single source of income. By tapping into Burkina Faso's vast potential, he sought to not only feed the country, but to position it as a regional powerhouse in agriculture. The emphasis on economic independence through agriculture allowed Burkina Faso to reduce its dependency on foreign food imports, helping to stabilize the economy and improve the livelihoods of millions of people. More than just economic progress, this shift towards agricultural sustainability is a symbol of Traoré's commitment to his people. By investing in their potential and ensuring that their labor is rewarded, he is providing hope for the future. His government's support of farmers and the agricultural sector is a direct investment in the country's future, empowering ordinary Burkinabe to build a better life for themselves. Traoré's agricultural policies are reshaping the country's future, but even more importantly, they are giving power back to the people, ensuring that the wealth of Burkina Faso stays within its borders. One of the most pressing issues facing Burkina Faso and much of Africa is youth unemployment. With a population that is largely young, the job market has struggled to keep pace with the demand for work. However, Ibrahim Traoré's leadership has taken a bold stance against this challenge, focusing on creating jobs through strategic economic growth. Traoré's vision wasn't simply about sustaining agriculture or relying on foreign investment. It was about building a diverse, robust economy that could provide sustainable employment opportunities for the people of Burkina Faso. With the support of his government, major infrastructure projects were launched across the country. These projects have not only improved the country's physical landscape, but have also created thousands of jobs in construction, logistics, and public works. From new roads and bridges to state-of-the-art energy plants, Traoré's commitment to infrastructure is providing the country with the necessary foundation for future economic growth. But his approach goes beyond construction. Traoré also invested in developing local industries, promoting sectors like manufacturing, technology, and services. By fostering entrepreneurship and supporting small businesses, his government has created a vibrant private sector that offers diverse opportunities for young Burkinabé. The results have been transformative. Thousands of young people now have jobs, contributing to the country's economic growth while lifting themselves out of poverty. More importantly, these jobs are not just short-term fixes, they are part of a long-term strategy for sustainable development. Through initiatives such as vocational training programs, microloans for small businesses, and public-private partnerships, Traoré is ensuring that every citizen has access to the tools they need to succeed. The economy of Burkina Faso is no longer dependent on foreign handouts or aid. It's becoming increasingly self-sufficient and driven by its people. The economic growth under Traoré's leadership is not just measured in numbers or GDP. It's seen in the faces of those whose lives have been transformed. From new job opportunities to improved living conditions, the fruits of his policies are evident. This focus on employment isn't just about job sits, about dignity, opportunity, and giving Burkinabé the chance to shape their own futures. Ibrahim Traoré is laying the foundation for a thriving economy that will carry Burkina Faso, and perhaps the rest of Africa, into a prosperous future. Despite Ibrahim Traoré's widespread popularity and the success of his policies, his leadership has not been without its challenges. As his influence grows, so too does the interest of foreign powers, and not always in a positive way. One of the most striking examples of foreign interference comes from neighboring Ivory Coast. The country's defense minister has been vocal in attempting to undermine Traoré's efforts. Accusations have been made against Burkina Faso, with claims that the country's military has been acting destabilizing in the region. Some have even gone as far as discouraging military equipment sales to Burkina Faso, weakening the country's defense and its sovereignty. But Traoré hasn't backed down. Instead of succumbing to external pressure, he has doubled down on strengthening Burkina Faso's defense capabilities. Rather than relying on foreign aid, Traoré is focused on building a strong, self-reliant military. His vision is one where Burkina Faso does not have to depend on others for its security. He has implemented policies to improve the training of soldiers, invest in military technology, and develop national defense industries. While foreign powers may try to slow him down, Traoré's unwavering commitment to his people means that he will always prioritize Burkina Faso's sovereignty and security above all else. Another example of foreign opposition comes from the United States. A U.S. black officer, representing the interests of some of the world's most powerful institutions, recently accused Traoré of looting the country's resources for personal gain. These accusations, made without evidence, are part of a larger effort to discredit Traoré's leadership and destabilize the country's progress. The officer's statements have caused a ripple effect across international media, with certain outlets in the West claiming that the president's actions are self-serving, framing his work for the people of Burkina Faso as a facade for personal wealth accumulation. But Traoré's response is clear and resolute. He rejects these baseless accusations with conviction. He has consistently stated that his mission is to serve the people of Burkina Faso, and that all actions taken by his administration are driven by the desire to uplift his peuple by personal greed. The people of Burkina Faso know the truth. They know that Traoré's leadership is about rebuilding the nation, not enriching himself. And despite the foreign narratives being pushed, the loyalty and trust of his citizens remain rock solid. In the face of foreign opposition, Traoré's resolve remains unshaken. His leadership is about more than just politics, it's about his commitment to the future of Burkina Faso and to the broader vision of a free and self-sustaining Africa. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership is more than just a political stance, it's a vision for Africa's future. In a world where the continent has too often been held back by corruption, foreign interference, and weak governance, Traoré represents something different. Through his unwavering commitment to national self-reliance, he has shown that real change is possible in Africa. From investing in local agriculture to training and equipping a stronger, more self-sufficient military, Traoré has been at the forefront of a transformative movement. His leadership speaks to the needs of the people, addressing employment, infrastructure, and education head-on. What makes Ibrahim Traoré's leadership truly remarkable is his connection with the people. Unlike many political leaders who lose touch with those they lead, Traoré has remained grounded, always listening to his citizens, understanding their struggles, and acting in their best interest. He has already demonstrated his ability to deliver tangible results in a short period. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso is no longer merely a victim of global exploitation. It is a beacon of hope for other African nations striving for prosperity and independence. But the true power of Ibrahim Traoré's leadership extends beyond the borders of Burkina Faso. His vision for Africa goes beyond national boundaries. He envisions a united, powerful, and independent continentone that no longer depends on the West for its survival, but stands strong on its own. In a time when Africa's resources are often exploited and its people continue to face systemic challenges, leaders like Traoré are the beacon of change that is so desperately needed. His determination to break free from the chains of foreign domination is inspiring. His leadership offers a roadmap for what the future of Africa could look like if more leaders follow his example. This is the story of a leader who refuses to be swayed by external pressures, a man who is ready to put his country and his continent first. Ibrahim Traoré's vision is bold, it's ambitious, and it is the future that Africa needs. The question is, will Africa continue to settle for the status quo, or will it rise, under the leadership of courageous figures like Ibrahim Traoré, to take its rightful place on the global stage? Ibrahim Traoré is more than just a leader for Burkina Faso, he could be the leader for Africa. And in the face of all the obstacles that lie ahead, he represents the future of an Africa that is strong, united,